Welcome to the Fearful Fright series, where we will be reading with our favorite green ghoul, Grimmer. Now sit back and enjoy this twisted tale. Today our story is called The Green Tunics of the Deep. In the 4th century after Christ, when the Roman Empire was already cracking like old marble under its own weight, there existed a unit whose name was never carved into triumphal arches. They were not paraded. They were not praised. They were used. They were called the Legionnaires of the Green Standard, a secretive detachment formed under imperial decree and ecclesiastical whisper alike. Their duty was neither conquest nor defense, but retrieval. Ancient relics. Weapons spoken of only in scripture. Objects buried before Rome, before Greece, before memory. They wore green wool tunics, dyed with crushed malachite and bile, the color of rotten old copper. Their shields were round, rimmed with iron, unmarked by legion numbers. Their only blade was the pugio, a short dagger meant for close killing, because whatever guarded holy relics was never fought at a distance. They were 27 men when they rode eastward into the limestone hills beyond Antioch. They would not remain so. The cave that breathed. The cave mouth yawned like a wound in the earth. It had been found after a shepherd disappeared, his flock left circling the hill for 3 days, bleeding until their throats split. The Legionnaires were told the cave contained a relic referenced in the Book of Giants, a fragment of war from the age when God still drowned the world to cleanse it. Arnulf Amalarics felt it before they dismounted. The stone was wrong. Not cold, clammy, like flesh that had never known the sun. The air that seeped from the cave carried a smell like wet iron and burned hair. Arnulf touched his shield and whispered a prayer his mother taught him in the forests north of the Danube, words older than Latin, older than Rome. The others laughed. They would not laugh again. Descent. Torches were lit. The cave swallowed the light. Inside, the walls were carved, not by tool, but by hands, fingers pressed so deeply into stone they left grooves like softened wax. Symbols covered the walls, Proto-Hebrew, fractured, rewritten over itself again and again, as if someone had tried desperately to remember God's name and failed every time. Bones littered the ground. Human, animal, and some, too large. The tunnel descended sharply, forcing the soldiers to stoop. Their shields scraped stone. Their breathing echoed, but not correctly. There were extra echoes, delayed, answering them. That was when the first man screamed. The first kill. Lucius Marcellus, walking third in line, was lifted off the ground without warning. Something pulled him upward. His shield clanged uselessly as his feet kicked the air. Then came the sound, wet, final, like a melon crushed between stones. His body hit the ground in pieces. The torchlight revealed red hair, thick as horse mane, sliding back into darkness above them. Not retreating. Waiting. The Anakim. The giant dropped from the ceiling like a falling idol. It was over 12 feet tall, its skin pale and scarred, etched with ancient brands burned so deep they glowed faintly. Its hair was blood red, matted with bone fragments and dried gore. Its eyes were sunken pits of amber light, and its mouth. Its mouth was too wide. The thing spoke. Not Latin, not Greek. Hebrew, broken and furious. I am the last of the tall ones. Then it killed again. Slaughter. Daggers bounced off its hide. Shields shattered under its fists. It tore men in half. It bit off heads. It crushed skulls and drank what spilled. One soldier tried to flee. The Anakim grabbed his legs and used him to beat another man to death, laughing, a deep, echoing sound that shook dust from the ceiling. The torches fell. Darkness swallowed screams. Arnulf fought. He stabbed again and again, not to kill, but to distract. He slammed his shield into its knees, drove it backward into a stalactite, and shouted orders that no one could follow anymore. One by one, the Legionnaires died. Prayers turned to sobs. Sobs turned to silence. At last, only Arnulf Amalarics remained. The relic. Bleeding, half-blind, Arnulf stumbled deeper into the cave. Behind him, the giant followed, slow now, amused. Arnulf found the relic chamber by accident. A stone altar. Upon it, a blackened spearhead, wrapped in decayed linen marked with blood so old it had become part of the metal. He knew. This was a weapon used against giants, forged before the flood, forbidden after it. The Anakim entered the chamber. "You carry the stink of Rome," it said. "But you bleed like men always did." Arnulf took the spearhead, jammed it onto the broken shaft of a fallen standard, and raised it. "For mankind," he whispered. "The hero." The fight was brutal. The Anakim crushed Arnulf's shield. Broke his arm. Bit into his shoulder. But Arnulf drove the spear into its eye, chanting prayers, curses, names of God half remembered from monks and madmen. The giant screamed. Stone cracked. The cave began to collapse. With one final cry, Arnulf drove the spearhead into the creature's heart. The Anakim fell, dead at last, its blood burning holes in the stone. Arnulf crawled from the collapsing cave as dawn broke. Behind him, the hill caved in, burying the relic, the bodies, and the horror forever. The warning. Arnulf returned alone. He did not bring the spear. He brought fear. He told the bishops. He told the generals. He told anyone who would listen. Some wars were ended by God for a reason. Some enemies were buried, not defeated. If we dig too deep again, they will answer. They recorded his words. Then sealed them. But the name Arnulf Amalarax survived. Because heroes do not always conquer. Sometimes they warn. And sometimes, far beneath the earth, something listens.